So part 6 of the 7-part series, 6 flip chart close. I've just talked about the whole story. Now I'm transitioning to the offer. So remember the bow, the concept of the bow. I build the base. I begin to let the participants see the shape of the bow, because the hope story offer is the shape of the bow. Now I'm filling the pieces to make it complete. Because like I said in the last 2 parts, you have to have all 3 components: hope, the hook, the story, and the offer. You cannot miss one. Okay? But before I start this part, remember, I want you to click subscribe button if you haven't done it, simply because I want my message to be heard, to extend to a wider reach. So would you be willing to help me? So thank you for that. Comment below, say yes. And of course, hit the bell and get notified, so that you know, as well as I do, when I post any future videos, you will get notified on the spot. Alright? Now comes to part number 6. Are you ready? Are you excited? How many of you have learned so much in the last few parts? I hope that it gives you an overview, an insight, and deep dive of some of the key components about my close. Okay, so now part 6. Part 6 is about the offer. So remember, a while ago I said an offer has to be irresistible. An offer that is irresistible is the offer that is no-brainer to the right audiences. Write this down. An irresistible offer is an offer that is no-brainer to the right audiences. Alright, so what do I mean by that? So I said that, well, you know what? Number 1, so I'm about to make a very important decision about this offer. I actually have not thought about it, but one of the key things that speakers, trainers, most people actually make a big mistake. That is, they like to create the program first before they sell. They love to create first and sell. And many times I've heard stories about people who created a program, wanted to sell, but they didn't sell. Why? Because nobody bought. How many of you have this experience before? You comment below. So you say my philosophy is always to make the offer first and see whether people are interested. And if they say yes, then I will start creating something. So what the offers I'm about to make is my concept. I only want you to resonate with it. I don't have the exact contents because I haven't figured it out yet. I do want you to understand that when I get people who say yes, then I'll work this out. Would that be okay? Because I'm practicing what I've just taught you. Create? No. Sell first. Make the offer first before you create. Does that make sense? So I said that you always want me to show you what I've done, what I'm doing, so that you know what I'm teaching you is not theory. Because I am using the same technique to apply to you guys right now. Does that make sense? Okay? So now this is what I did. Then I said, well, you know what? I love to work with people. Like, my time is very limited. As a lot of people always ask, like, Jack, you have a lot of time, right? No, I don't have a lot of time. The fact that I'm creating all these assets, what is the reason for this? Well, I'm creating all these assets because I can't handle questions from each and every one of you. So since that people are interested in this flip chart close, that's why I created this 7-part series. And therefore, you can now consume online as my way of creating legacy. So you don't need to ask me any specific questions anymore on a one-on-one basis. Okay, so that's the reason of my motivation of creating all these digital assets online. Alright, so the offer. I like to work with people who are committed. And I said, well, I write down the word commitment. So this is the flip chart. You may want to write this down. Commitment. This is a very big word. How many of you actually can define commitment? Now, understand something. Commitment is not about, some people say, well, you know what? I would do what I say. No, this is not commitment. In fact, I recall when I did a close in Kuala Lumpur last year in Video Hero, this is what I said. How many of you can confidently define commitment? Yes, common people will say, hey, you know what? There's actually something called I do what I say is a commitment. How many of you have heard that when you are committed, you will do what you say? Yes. No, it's not. This is what a copywriting technique. Because this is called shocking. Is it what you think? No! Because there's some more. So this is my definition. My definition of commitment is 3 things. Number 1, yes, you do what you say you will do. That's number 1. Number 2, you do not do what you do not say. In other words, it's the opposite to the first one. So in short, No commitment is a form of commitment. Write this down. No commitment is a form of commitment. Does that make sense? Okay, so the first one is you commit to doing what you say you will do, and you do it. Second one is that you don't commit when you see you have a lot of things on plate. You can't do anything, so better say no. Number 3 is when you accidentally say yes and you say you're committed. At that point in time, you feel that you are committed, but for some reason, some last minute things pop up, and therefore you are not able to deliver your promise based on the deadline you agree. So you renegotiate your deadline in advance, not after. After the deadline, it's before the deadline. I usually will apply the 48 hours rule. 48 hours rule. That is, you tell me 2 days in advance that you are asking for extension of time. And that's, to me, still a form of commitment, because I acknowledge that things can happen last minute. Emergencies, accidents, anything can happen. All right, so I do apply this thing called the 48-hour rule. Okay, it's my coaching clients. If you are my coaching clients, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so I said commitment is a very big word. But how many of you realize that in the world, a lot of people cannot commit? Why? Because people are afraid of saying no. You guys are too nice. All I want you to do is to understand one thing, that when I decide to work with someone, all I need is the 100% commitment. And I do not want to work with someone who is half-hearted, less committed, or just talk about it, say, yeah, I will do it, yeah, but in the end I do nothing. So I actually grilled the commitment very strongly in the last part, which is my close, because that is what I set my standard. So when you decide to embrace my offer, it is very important for you to understand that I'm not here to play games. If I were to say yes to work with you for 12 months, I'm going to commit my time and make it happen. So you better commit yourself to this process before you say yes. You see, what did I say just now? Understand something? This is a way to disqualify people who are half-hearted, who are afraid of saying yes, or maybe just want to come to this program to try. No, I filter these people out through this word or the languaging. And on top of that, I also say something, listen carefully. That is, when you decide to work with me for 12 months, there's no something called you want to try 3 months, you want to give up right away. No, when you say 12 months, it's going to be 12 months. I repeat, if it's a 12 months that I'm committed to working with you, that's a 12 months commitment. Don't back off 3 months after that. You see, I'm again disqualifying people. And the reason why you want to disqualify people that way is because you want to filter out people who are not your audiences. Now, these people might be audiences until now. They have been in your room, started from the beginning. But when it comes to the actual offer, some of them may have their little voice, may have their limiting belief, may have their fear, and therefore they want to back off. So you want to disqualify people. My teacher Alex Mandosian always says, you want to disqualify people first before you qualify them. So I love the fact that I will use this languaging to disqualify people who are not committed, who cannot align with the values of commitment that I have. Then these are not my clients for sure. Like those of you who are my clients, who are my coaches, mentees, you know my commitment is 101% of 100. Okay, that's me. Because I live by my rules, commitment. And I said that I will give you the 7-part series. I will give you the 7-part series. Okay, so there's my commitment to you. I promise, I deliver. All right? Okay, so therefore, it's very important. So now, I need to transition to a demonstration because these people didn't know my commitment level. Okay, didn't know my commitment level. So therefore, I need to demonstrate. So the last part, in the last video, is going to be a bit longer because I'm going to illustrate how I teach something, but in fact, it is actually a close. Are you ready for this? In last part of the 7-part series, comment below. I know that this part is a bit short, but this is what it is. Next part is going to be very cool. All right, I can't wait to see you in part 7, the final piece. And if you have any questions, comments about speaking, training, and facilitation, comment below. And I would love to connect with you to find out whether I can answer these questions in the form of future videos. Once again, thanks for watching part number 6. One more part to go. You're doing great. I'll see you in part 7. Jack Wong here signing off. All good wishes.